Cool. I'm assuming you can still hear us. Hi everyone, Jim Williams here. I'm also presenting with Vlad. I've been with Marketing Cloud for 8 years doing implementation and 4 years of pre-sales as well. So pretty much seen every major product release since the exact target acquisition. Everyone else is using and microphone on your end, etc. Celebrated thousands of success stories as Salesforce were trying to make our customers look like heroes. Vlad is joining us on the other end. Familiar face, as you can see, we're very big on diversity at Salesforce here. We've got two chaps there, similar haircut, same outfit, right? Very big on diversity and equality. But yeah, Vlad's been part of my earlier team as well, and now helps out with the partner community. Some of you may well know him. Very handy person to know within the business. There's a slight bit of lag on this end, so I'll just wait for that to load. But after doing intros, I'm going to take you through an overview of what CDP is. There's a lot of confusion in the marketplace around what the terminology and the actual definition of this capability is. Hi there. I'll give you next then going to the Salesforce point of view as well of what we determine a CDP to be. Give you some insights as to what we're releasing in the coming year or so and announcing at Connections. Give you some insight as well into the roadmap, and then finally open it up for Q&A at the end as well. 1 minute, one. Thanks, mate. All right. Maybe that's better. Okay. So let's go into an overview of what CDP is to start with. So, actually, no, I can't forget this one, of course. My favorite slide. Make sure that loads. Because as you know, Salesforce.com is a publicly traded company. We urge you to please make any buying decisions based on goods and services currently listed on our website today. But if you'd like to learn more about this inspiring slide, please go to Salesforce.com and read it to your heart's content. So let's go into the overview of CDP. Now we've got that out of the way. CDP has been around for actually some time. It's actually not one single definitive capabilities, but it's actually a constellation of technologies. As you can see here, it's been around actually since the early 2010s, and it overlaps with a lot of capabilities such as master data management, campaign automation, marketing automation, ETL, you name it. And it wasn't until till the early 2018 where we started to hear more disruption in the marketplace around the exact term itself. So most of you would be familiar with Chief Martech, Scott Brinkner's marketing Lumascape. You can see when this loads, every year or so, there's about 1,000 new capabilities or vendors enter the marketplace. And with that comes a lot of buzzwords, paranoia, shiny new toys that everyone wants to get on board. And the latest one shows over 7,000 marketing tech vendors in the ecosystem. In fact, that's Mad Tech, marketing and ad tech capabilities as well. So it's around 2017 that we really start to see CDP take off. There were a few things that kind of drove that in particular. The first one, which we love dearly and is close to our hearts, is GDPR, right? GDPR, in fact, was a game changer for marketers, changed it to make more permission-based decisions. And with that, we actually stopped most of our innovation in 2017 and focused on optimization, continuing to be the best-in-class marketing provider, building the most robust GDPR capabilities in the marketplace. So we took it very seriously, along with the consumer rights legislation as well, to help marketers get better permissions and harvest better input from their first-party data. Second to that, Google, Facebook, and Amazon changed the game for DMP. Really changed DMP from a lot of media optimization to first-party data management, or augmentation, segmentation, to combine it with known data. And lastly, this led to the rise of our favorite term as we're going through, CDP, which is the PII-based DMP. So 2017 was an interesting year. 2018 saw the introduction of the CDP definition on the Lumascape. So for those here who can see the screen, it's going to load in a moment. 2018 had DMP. You can see a fairly chunk of it down the bottom right will load in a sec. Good lag. Well, it's, all right. Well, it's yeah. I think my remote's gone. Oh, here we go. So DMP came in, and then there was a new category as well. It should load in a moment. We're talking these three here. Okay. And previously he was there as well. And then we had a new entrant in CDP. So it was a new market category, but as I said before, it's actually been around for some time, but more and more vendors starting to come into the landscape. Fast forward to 2019, and this what we'll see, and we'll go into a moment as I talk about CDP being a constellation of technologies. You'll see in a moment that the DMP segment actually grew smaller. Previously grew bigger as the emergence of GDPR and consumer registration and things like that. And CDP grew bigger. In fact, I'm just going to fast forward so you can see the whole thing lined up. But if you see here, that was 2018, and then beneath it, 2019, CDP is growing bigger and bigger. And as I said before, this is an amalgamation or convergence of technologies to combine known data with unknown data to put better marketers more in control of all data. So we saw a lot of interest, a lot of FUD, for those who don't know it, fear, uncertainty, and doubt, from niche players in the market. And in 2018, we had more RFPs asking for a CDP. In fact, over 50% of our global RFPs asked for CDP. Question is, though, everyone was caught on with this buzzword that we kind of get stuck up in. And this is thanks to marketunist.com, Tom Fishburne. He writes these good little memes. And the new shiny squirrel was out. 2 years ago, it was DMP. Next one, CDP. And we go to customers, particularly in retail, travel, telco, banking, etc., and say, cool, we've heard you're going to market for a CDP. What do you need from it? And they wouldn't know. Right? And everyone's like, we need a CDP, we need a CDP. So everyone was kind of getting caught up with a shiny new toy. And we said to them, well, if you don't know what the definition of a CDP is, let's ask the analysts. And in fact, the analysts at the time as well didn't have a concrete definition of a CDP. So our good friends at Forrester said, last thing we need is another platform. As you've seen, marketing technology is going through a golden wave. It's going through proliferating at scale every year on year. The last thing we need is another platform, right? What we need is a holistic approach to customer data management that connects the anonymous and the known, and you can have a true master data management plan that ties neatly, and I didn't write this, but sales, service, commerce, and marketing, very cliche, and tie it into CRM, right? Who better than Salesforce to come up with a CDP after that, right? So it was only recently that Forrester came up with the true definition of a CDP. And funnily enough, we mentioned to it, every customer we spoke to, particularly here, US, EMEA, we had a CDP steerco, which I was part of. Not one customer had the same answer of what a CDP should have been. Over 50% of global RFPs we answered, not the same definition. So why do they need a CDP? Well, we know that the holy grail for marketers is always that single customer view. It's been that holy grail for years, pretty much ever since omni-channel marketing came out, right? All your touch points connected, have that single view of your customer, know what they've done, where they've been, et cetera, et cetera. And we finally thought, could this be the one where the MarTech industry's finally got the holy grail in CDP? So they came around in 2018, everyone saying, I need this CDP in my MarTech stack. So when we talk to customers, particularly in enterprise, most of them are saying, oh, I'm building this data lake. I'm putting it on AWS. I'm putting it on Red Hat. Then I'm going to employ my modeling on top of it. We're like, okay, cool. We'll come back and talk to you in a year when you built 20% of the functionality, right? And everyone's saying, oh, no, we got to do it, we got to do it. And then we started hearing niche players come in. I won't mention them, but we know who they are, saying, hey, we've got this out-of-the-box 1,000 connectors, out-of-the-box connectivity, no ETL, none of that. And we can activate your data. Like, oh, cool. Sounds very appealing if you're a marketer, right? Don't need to go to IT. You don't need to get ETL. You don't need APIs, all that. And it's a package solution. Oh, and we can activate it quickly across Facebook, Google, Twitter, etc. So they started to emerge, and particularly a lot of banks were hiring people with masters in artificial intelligence, went to Harvard and things like that, and they're building these models on AWS and Redshift and all those crazy tools. And we come back in a year and say, so what are you going live with? Like, oh, we're still requirements gathering, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you know, this would drive me mental, Groundhog Day, working with the banks in Asia. And we said, well, you know what? It sounds like you need a CDP. And we actually have all that capability already. And if you talk to the industry experts, they'll tell you a CDP should, firstly, act as a repository for all your information, enable rapid creation of that to build quick segments, right? Put those audiences across channels, email, mobile, social, web, audiences, ads, whatever. enrich it with other data sources from no longer third parties, but other parties as well, and provide a safe space. It should be behind a walled garden that IT enables you access to. It should be nimble for marketers to get access to the data. They don't need to open a can of worms by going to marketing to get a segment of the data. So with that, it should be easy to use. It should plug into downstream capabilities as well and provide some predictive capabilities on top of that as well. And lastly, comply with the relevant regulatory bodies as well, GDPR, etc. So it's a lot that CDP should do, and it promises a lot. Thank you, Brink. So this here is from Gartner, and I'm going to overlay it with some of the Salesforce capabilities that you may be familiar with already, and you'll start to get a picture of what I'm not going to disclose, what we're going to release. It gives you some indication of what we're going to come out with. So firstly, data collection, right? Think about here, you want inputs from any source, online data, POS, CRM, enterprise data warehouse, SKUs, transactions, all that data where you've got lines and lines and lines of billions of rows of known data. Secondly, you may have unknown data as well, tagged from your DMP to feed unknown data into this magic repository. So if you think about that from Marketing Cloud perspective, think about currently, whilst we demonstrate the most easy to use capabilities, that's dragging a CSV file through Automation Studio, creating an import activity, creating a data extension, trying an Automation Studio or Journey Builder or whatever to get that in. Imagine if you had thousands of out-of-the-box connectors to all these data sources to simplify that process. Again, making it easier for marketers to harness data from all those sources. Then, feeds into your single customer view. That could be powered by the world's leading CRM, or imagine Contact Builder on steroids, right? So you've got that single view of your customer with known data, and we can blur it with unknown data as well. Then, once you've got your data in your single customer view, imagine if you wanted to build segmentation on top of that. If you think about Marketing Cloud capabilities today, that's Audience Builder, the artist formerly known as DMP, which is now Audience Studio. You've got two segmentation tools there just for known and unknown data. Imagine if you had a liquid, simplified UI that you could define your rules in one place for known and unknown data. It's a game changer. Thirdly, once you've segmented that, you can then put those people into buckets and you can inject them into the fourth pillar, which is prediction and decision. So then you can inject them into these journeys. Capability I'm talking about here is Interaction Studio, right? Blend UI or infuse UI, AI on top of that. You've got next best action, next best offer at scale to make more informed decisions, to leverage all the data you've got in the platform. Then connect that with outbound channels across any touch point. So imagine that process, streamlined, data armor for ETL, feed it into CRM, infuse it with a segmentation tool for known and unknown data, activate it across all the touch points, then run your analytics on it on top of that, or without IT. That's the promise, right? So that was the Gartner term for what a CDP should be. So now that we know a bit about CDP in general, remember it's a constellation of technologies for unifying, activating, connecting data to leverage it at scale. Salesforce now has a pretty firm point of view on it from all those customers and prospects we've talked to. We have a bird's eye view on the technology landscape, and we're going to release the first enterprise CDP. So looking at Salesforce being a platform for engagement and a platform for change, we announced recently the Customer 360 initiative. Marketing Cloud is the spear tip of our platform, enables you to have that personalized conversation at scale across any touch point. And with that, we know we've got the capabilities already to bring the data in. We've got the capabilities to make a decision on it and run the next best action or the next best offer. But there's a new capability coming, which you can see down the bottom left, which I know, but I'm not going to tell you. It could be a builder, could be a studio, could be a 360. You just have to wait to Dreamforce connections. But it's going to change the game. And we based all this off what we've heard from the industry and also our State of Marketing report, which we released last year. We run third eye blind policy marketing, if I get that right, which means people who fill out the respondents to our State of Marketing survey don't know it's Salesforce, and respondents not necessarily Salesforce customers. And they tell us that these are the main challenges that they need to solve for, and we know a CDP is going to do that. First one is engage with customers in real time, right? We know Interaction Studio can cater for that. We know we need to optimize the marketing return on that to help our customers draw the best ROI from their marketing investment. They need modern tools and technologies. Remember, CDP often gets confused with Enterprise Data Warehouse. Enterprise Data Warehouse, commonly, when we talk to customers, is legacy Teradata and things like that, which they can't get access to the data from. CDP will simplify that. Then they want the single customer view across many business units, whether it be product lines, industry lines, whatever. And they want to have a single customer view across all those so they can upsell, cross-sell as well. And then finally, they just want to make sure that they continue to unify data sources as they emerge and come into their ecosystem. So those were the top 5 data management goals, which we know a CDP is going to cater for. So recent announcements, Salesforce unveiled our vision for a customer data platform. And then we made another announcement as well. And for those who don't know, it's actually quite funny. We heard a lot of people saying, hey, you need a CDP, you need a CDP. And we've got DMP, you don't need a CDP. And we said, CDP is a fad, right? Then Salesforce announces it's going to market with a CDP, right? But we know that based on this, we actually hired this guy, and this guy is an absolute legend, Marty Klein. He actually was the guy who defined CDP for Gartner, and now he works for Salesforce, and he's the SVP of CDP, acronym central. So he said here, details a little sketchy right now. Salesforce isn't announcing a CDP until connections, which I mentioned, and we don't have a tangible product yet, right? Point is that we had the products all along. What we're doing, as you saw, it's a constellation of technologies. We're going to market with the best capability. We wait until we see what our customers want, how the market shifts, then we put our own point of view on it, and we're going to come out with a big bang. We think also, he mentioned here, CDP is a category and an evolution of CRM. CDP is the new CRM, is what we've been telling the industry as well. And Salesforce messaging has been a bit nebulous. We're clarifying that at connections. It's no longer a passing fad. And we have all the components of a CDP, if not by name. And then we know that name is pending. For those who don't know as well, this guy is an absolute rock star. He actually worked at management consultants, before this. And he actually wrote the book, House of Lies. I don't know if you guys have seen it on TV, but he was the writer of this book. So he's a funny guy, really smart chap as well. And he loves CDPs. So we have the best development teams building this capability out. We have the guy who defined what it should be in terms of the landscape. We said we already have the capabilities already. Now we're looking at what here is an example of what the capabilities could look like in a Salesforce stack. So on the left here, you've got your unknown data from DMP. Beneath that, you've got known data. Imagine an ETL layer to make all that simplified and feed it into a data management layer for known and unknown data. Then, to personalize that, you can leverage Interaction Studio and then engage across any touch point at scale, across all the touch points we cater for, or any of the touch points we don't, by integrating with our APIs. And our themes here are know your customer, personalize at any touch point, and engage entirely throughout the life cycle, whilst measuring the whole thing, the entire life cycle, with analytical capabilities. So no personalized engage is something we went to market with last year, and you'll continue to see that as our theme as well. So I said that the game changer for us really is we have the leading CRM, we have leading DMP. We're going to infuse those two together, get through all the legals and compliance that we have to before we announce this, and go to market with something that is game changing for marketers in terms of harnessing all that data, bringing it in from any source, merging it all together, and then activating it. One expert in the space actually said, if Salesforce was to build a CDP, this is what it would look like. And you see, it's quite similar to what I had up before, actually. This guy is called David Robb. He actually runs a website, if you haven't seen it before, called the Customer Data Platform Institute. It's a non-profit sponsored website where you can just go for any information on CDP. So if you look at what I had before, you've got all your data sources on the left, whether it be known or unknown. Imagine the ETL layer for loading and ingesting that data is powered by Datorama. Then that ETL is taken care of further in Datorama again, exposed to Interaction Studio for next best action, next best offer. He's put Session M, that's a partner, you can use that as well, it's built on Salesforce platform. Orchestrate that at scale, and then message your customers across the entire life cycle. It's pretty spot on, right? Unifying the data, taking it from any source, activating it in engagement. That's what marketers tell us they want. What the question was? Well, you could use our partners, mobile studios, site calls, and that, right? So he wasn't, if I had to say, which I'm not announcing anything, remember, that guy is the leader of the CDP Institute. I think he knows what he's talking about. It's a pretty good guess, in my opinion, without saying anything further. Everyone knows here as well, like, as I said, CDP is a constellation of technologies. We talked about them there, ETL, Datorama, Interaction Studio, Marketing Cloud, and Analytics. We already have them. It's not a passing fad. It's a collection. So we will go to market with one. It's a soft launch at Connections, a hard launch at Dreamforce, okay? Our roadmap, as I mentioned before in that diagram, was know your customer, personalize and drive engagement across the entire life cycle, and continually run analytics on top of that so you can draw greater ROI, greater insights from your marketing, continually test and learn, and act and communicate across any channel. This vision is tied down to 5 investment pillars: data, analytics, hyper-personalization, channel proliferation, and I think integration was the other one as well. All similar patterns to what CDPs cater for. So, an announcement at Connection.
मेरे साथ तो जो हुआ इनका क्या
around what to expect from Salesforce CDP. We believe it's going to be the strongest, most robust, and first go-to-market enterprise CDP with our best-in-class capabilities. There's a lot coming out. If you've got any questions, please let me know. I'll open it up in the line there. Thank you. Oh, cheers. Do I need to get off mute? Or Matt, any questions from, oh, Michael, any questions from Brisbane? Or Matt, any from Melbourne?
Any questions, anyone?
Go ahead.
Yep, so questions come out. How much does it cost?
I'll just ask that as well.
Safe harbor to be confirmed. Yeah. It'll be for all versions.
Any other questions?
Oh, actually, sorry, I'll repeat the question for those on the line. It was for, it will cater for all verticals, all segments, all lines of business, whether it be commercial or enterprise.
Anyone else?
That's a good one. We get asked that quite a lot, and our competitors throw that at us to derail our deals, right? So if you think about CDP is purely for marketers, right? It's a nimble way of connecting data. We leverage MuleSoft in our backend, but MuleSoft is used for building APIs on top of it, right? So if you need to build a custom ones, go with MuleSoft, but it's not going to have out-of-the-box connectors to Facebook, Seismic, those kind of things. Datorama is going to help with that ETL, okay? So use MuleSoft to build APIs and gateways, okay?
Jim, what was that question?
Difference between MuleSoft and CDP. Answer is you need both. No, just joking. You build microservices with MuleSoft, and you have out-of-the-box connectors with CDP.
All right, thank you.
Sorry, we have another question here. One sec. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. The answer is yes, that's the intent, to empower marketers with it. So the question was, if you've got IBM on one side and you've got Salesforce with the CDP on the other side, can we provide the same kind of golden record that an MDM capability could? And the answer is yes, that's the intent, without putting the marketer through all the rigmarole of an MDM. Okay, empowering marketers. Excellent. Any other questions from anywhere? Yeah. One more question here, sorry. Sure. So the announcements are on the blog to get the market interested in what we're going to do. Connections is the announcement that we're in build, and it will be formally generally available at the end of the year, safe harbor again. But we will go live at Dreamforce with a customer on stage with us. The upgrade path, I'd have to dig more into that. I just get in it, play with it, and someone else cares about that. But we can find out for you for sure. Okay. There will be, rest assured though, with our CSMs and our offerings, that's part of our value proposition, is to help with that transition path if need be. You know, a lot of customers already have certain components of CDP already, which is DMP or Datorama. We would make sure they get the value from it. Okay. Awesome. No other questions?
All right, thanks. Any other questions we'll save till later. So now we'll move on to the next.
Thank you.
Okay, so now we've got Vlad Pilak talking to us about marketing.